Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Before we dig deep into our analysis, listen to this.
Away.
Yes. I consider that man as a brave man of God. And the reason is simple. William Ruto's government has managed to subdue the church. About 80% of church leaders are worshipping and singing William Ruto's praises. So when such a brave man of God comes out to speak sense to the government, that's a move that should be supported by all Kenyans. Before we dig deep, let's borrow some wisdom from Journal of Philosophy, Culture and Religion. Abstract. Purpose. The primary objective of this study was to determine the role of the mainline church in state and public affairs in Kenya between 1978 and 2002. This paper focuses on the contribution of the church in the transformation of the society that took place during this period. The work seeks to contribute to the debates and understanding about the role of the religion in the political process. The study thus brought together both theoretical and empirical links that intersected religion with the political agendas of the mainline churches and with the institutional politics and social processes of Kenya. Methodology. Methodologically, the research drew upon information obtained from interviews, questionnaires, participant observations, religious sermons, newspaper reports, church magazines, and internet blogs. The target population for this study was the mainland churches in Kenya and the role these churches played in state and public affairs in Kenya between 1978 and 2002. Results. Despite the oppressive reaction by the government, religious leaders during the Moi era continued to preach against the high-level political power monopoly by the ruling party, KANU. The most vocal church leaders in the crusade to democratize Kenya were the Catholic Bishop Kimeumana, Anglican bishops Henry Okulu and Alexander Kipsang Muge, and Presbyterian Church Timothy Njoya, among others. Under the banner of the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, the church was at the forefront in condemning the 1988 Q voting system, not only as umbilical, but also to transvesting to political justice. Yes, that's a study that was done. And the study wanted to find out the role the church played between 1978 and 2002. That was during the Moi era. And Kenyans know and can remember that Moi was one of the last dictators Kenya had in the recent days. Moi was very brutal and very lethal. And in spite of all those, the church was very brave to talk sense to Moi. And Kenyans can still remember the likes of Bishop Okulu. Yes, Njoya. Such kind of bishop who were very brave. Even though the government was very oppressive and could not condone any critique, people were being killed. There were so many assassinations. These church leaders stood and spoke sense to Moi. In this video, I want us to dig deep into this story to see exactly the truth behind all these things and more so about the current state of the church in Kenya and politics. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe give this video a like. If you look at what is currently happening in Kenya, it's a fact the country is heading towards a wrong direction. Some of William Ruto associates just yesterday have been calling for the removal of the presidential term limits. And that will just bring back the dictatorship. The church is silent, the church is quiet. You are now just seeing an injustice almost in the process of being committed. The church is silent and the church is quiet. And listening to some church leaders, some have been cursing any person speaking contrary to the government. In fact, some church ministers have been coming out very boldly and in public to curse any person or any leader challenging the government. You are also seeing that there, the church has also clearly been compromised. And we have also been seeing William Ruto and his team attending some church functions where they donate money, they give out money, and then they use the pulpit to attack and to spew hate against their political opponents. The church has been silent and quiet about that. So you are seeing clearly, ladies and gentlemen, that the church is getting it wrong. As the government messes big time, the church supports the government, and the church is very silent on such kind of injustices. The church is actually in bed with the government. And that's an issue. Kenyans must come out and speak against that. A church, I honestly believe, should be neutral. A church should be fighting for justice of everybody. A church should not take political sides. Any church taking political sides, then Kenyans should and must reject that kind of a church and that kind of a church leader. Yes, it's natural to have divergent political opinion. That's normal. But now when a church leader or when a church also takes sides, then that's not a true church. That's a partisan church. And that church most likely is serving some personal interest of either the politicians or of that church minister worshiping and praising that leader. Let me stop it there for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you, God bless Kenya. Any other person who wants to support our channel, as always, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel your contribution to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis.